We both
Oh,
agree
yeah.
that that was unethical.
Unethical.
Hey everybody, it's James and Tanya, and we are going to be doing some Reddit stories about unethical coaches.
Yes. Titled, Therapist Made a Joke I Can't Process. Triggering content. After years of sobriety and years of therapy, I had a violent relapse at Christmas. Drugs, alcohol, self-harm, amnesia. For context, I have CPTSD, a history with self-destruction. A few days after the collapse, I went to therapy in a very vulnerable state. For the first time in my life, I was aware of how bad I needed help. That session felt like a full-on rupture from start to finish. I was physically weak and mentally discouraged, and she told me I needed to let go of the wound because you are attached to it. You didn't get to form the basics of attachment with your parents, but other types of attachment are available. Think neuroplasticity. And you need to accept the idea of being taken care of. I am isolated. I went no contact years ago. I have no friends, and I am new to a city I barely know because of work. And I have no templates for trust, safety, or attachment. So who exactly should I accept care from? Her? Because the last moments of the session definitely closed the possibility. As I left, she joked about being an optimist. I asked her politely to stop with the jokes because positivity could feel pretty toxic at the moment. Maybe she got defensive. Maybe that session was heavy for her too. I don't know. But she looked at me and said, or what? You're going to, how do I say this? Or what? You're going to, yourself.
Mm-hmm.
My jaw dropped. I was already half out. I looked at her in shock, too drained to answer. And as my mouth opened, she said, I'm just kidding, my dear. Yep, like my mother just joked about my pain after beating me up, or like my father just laughed at the scars on my arms when he saw them. I left and realized she couldn't handle me if my mask wasn't on. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel safe in therapy again, and I feel really stupid for even trying. First comment, that's really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
The top comment. Holy. Jokes are meant for people to laugh.
Yeah.
Comments are like, hey, it's supposed to be, there's supposed to be a goal to a joke for people to laugh at.
Yeah.
When you're making a joke, to be like, hey, your trauma, I'm going to use the most traumatic thing that you say. This therapist did not regulate.
No.
Did not regulate themselves at all.
No. Like what you learn in school when it comes to social work or social service work is if you are feeling a way, you can say, hey, can you give me 1 minute to step out? And so they can recalibrate and they can center themselves. Like, yes, things within a session can trigger you, but you always need to keep yourself centered to be able to help who you're working with. Because then you'll just make it worse.
Yeah.
And making a gross joke like that definitely made it worse for your client. And
no,
that's
not okay.
This client's not going to want to go to another therapist again.
No. Now you're traumatizing the whole industry as a whole. This is like, imagine, like, I was in a scenario with a client that it was so heavy that I made it a mission that I couldn't even regulate. That's how heavy it was. This was a couple of years ago. It wasn't even that long ago. And I remember listening and it was so like, I was like, wow, this is beyond what I can handle. If I can't handle this level, I'm going to listen. I'm
Mhm.
not going to respond. I am going to process my own feelings. And I remember telling them, not even during the session, I was just listening and I said, what would you need from me right now? And this and that. And the client told me. And then I said, listen, instead of saying, I'm not for you, which is such a, abandoning
Yeah.
your client, I said, I actually know some really great people that are
Yeah.
so much more equipped for, and I made sure to research them first. And I did have a friend of mine that I was like, okay, I know somebody that can help you with this. That's so much more, but I'm still here. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not abandoning. This is, I don't even know where to go. I don't even, I feel like, yeah, my jaw dropped. That's how I feel right now. Yeah, top comment. That's really fucked up. A therapist should definitely know better than to make a cruel joke. It's
Yeah.
honestly just basic human decency to not make jokes about self-harm. I've
Yeah.
noticed a lot of therapists seem to think that if they just say people care about you, it'll make you better. It's genuinely disturbing to me how many of them don't see or understand that not everyone has someone who cares about them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had that. And anyway, yeah. Listen, maybe we should talk about this. We are in the neuroplasticity world.
Mhm.
It is a thing. It is science. Neuroplasticity is science. But imagine you're on fire and someone goes, "Hey, I could teach you how to do neuroplasticity." Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
there are, well, maybe not, that's not a good example. But do you know what I mean? Like there is a time and place when a person is ready to be like, "Hey, there is a thing that genuinely works, that you can
Mhm.
reprogram things in your mind." But when somebody's in a hole, in the darkest hole, and you're like, "Hey, there's neuroplasticity." Help
Not
them out of the
helpful.
hole.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I screamed on that one.
Well, like when you were talking about, you said like a good example of like you did not know what to say, but you left room for them to keep going. And something that like I've learned is that like silence is not a bad thing. Leaving room for them to process what they're thinking to go on is very helpful.
So I feel like we don't even need to answer if this was professional or not.
Now,
Unethical.
so thank you guys for watching today's video.
Is that appropriate for after the? I feel okay.
Subscribe.